Welcome back to another episode of CREview. I'm here with Dill, I'm Josh, and today we are talking about pre-marketing tactics you absolutely must do.
We thought probably a good idea going into 2026, if you're starting to do some planning, what are the must-haves?
Yeah.
The must-have marketing tactics we think are really valuable for your planning going into next year as well.
Yeah.
Let's go into the core tactics. So I think when we go through this, just bear in mind that whatever you're choosing for your brokerage, company, tech, platform, how is it driving your pipeline? So how is that tactic going to increase your profit? How is it going to close more revenue? How is it going to change the decision-making of that ideal customer that you're going after?
And I think that's a very good thing to remember with everything that you're doing, because that also then helps you make it easier for you to know if doing the thing that you're doing is worth it. Because people say do everything, but you're like, but now I'm vacuuming the ceiling, am I meant to be doing that? Oh no, but I was told to do it. It's actually not doing anything,
Yeah, but someone said they saw a TikTok video
that said, yeah,
clean. This is what we're dealing with
exactly
in the world now.
Exactly.
It's just so much noise, man, and we need to just, I had an idea when I was a student, and I'm telling you, this idea will be great. But it's because I was a student and I was hungover all the time. Is to have a silent vacuum cleaner. You know how much money you'd make?
It's shocking that is not a thing yet.
Right? Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's go into the core tactics now.
Let's do it.
The first one is SEO plus GEO optimization. But GEO is the new thing now. So
overviews.
So it's overviews, but it's the LMs. So your ChatGPTs, your Geminis, etc. 68% of tenants and investors begin their search online. When we say online, it's also through your GPTs.
Yeah.
So when they're searching there, you need to be there. You got to be found there, and that's the beginning part of all of this. So how are you being searched? How are you understanding how SEO is working for your business? Because SEO is still a thing, and we've spoken about this in other podcasts. Yeah. But GEO now is becoming really important. And there's another one, AEO, which is that answer engine optimization, which when you type something into Google, it gives you that generative text, answer, and that's your answer engine optimization. But your generative engine optimization is how are you creating content for your company that is being
pulled by those,
and scraped by the LLMs, the AI machines. So your website needs to now start
speak that language.
Speaking the language of those little spider bots. So
the spider bots have come a long way. Huh?
Yeah, they're very smart now.
If you don't know what we're talking about, I don't know when we filmed that, but
that was a while ago.
3 years ago, we spoke about spider bots.
They're very advanced.
Look at them now.
So that's the first one, SEO, G optimization. The next is email campaigns and automations. They're still in commercial real estate one of the best converters. So making sure that your email, your CRM, your CMS is all working together. It's a lot of acronyms, I know. But making sure your workflows are in place and your sequences are correct. So if you're a tech company, what does that workflow and that user journey look like from the first time someone trials your product or demos it? What are those different triggers that are happening in order to nurture that person down to, closing that deal? The same with your brokerage, the same with your, if you're an owner operator.
Yeah.
You've got, your brokerage, you'll have your lists of investors, potentially your potential people that want to lease from you. So how are you using your email to, again, going back to those main things, your core pipeline? How is it driving revenue? Thinking about how are you managing.
And that's each email as well. You can send one email and then the following week or the next month you send another email. Like, how does that link to the previous? And what are you building on?
Email's probably got it definitely should have its own podcast, to be honest, because it is such a big driver of leads in commercial real estate and converting sales and getting people more aware of your new products and doing all these things, because commercial real estate people still live on the email, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So it's a really, really good channel and tactic to have going into 2026, but making sure that it's optimized as best it can be for the different audiences that you're going after.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next one, I think, feels like we shouldn't even be having to say going into 2026, but the Google business profile.
Yeah. Yeah. So especially, if you're a brokerage, a local office, it's critical. It's critical to have that just from a credibility standpoint. Now, people are going to do research on your company. They're going to Google you if they're considering you, and they're going to look at reviews. They want to know that you're a credible company to work with, especially if they're parting with a lot of money. They're going to spend a lot of money and time and energy with you.
Yeah.
That Google business profile is vital.
Even for maps, like
Maps,
showing up.
100%.
And then blogs and guest articles.
So that's all about your thought leadership.
Yeah.
So
which is then that credibility, that trust,
it's building your brand recognition, building your brand presence and awareness, getting people to understand that you're an expert in this particular field. If you're trying to get more tenants into shopping centers, what types of content are you writing for brokers? To say, I want to lease space there. I want to, get in there. I want to invest in this property, but I need to do some research. And, you're writing articles that are, again, that's going to be SEO and GEO optimized, but also, again, building up your credibility and your thought leadership. So that's another really core tactic that is going to be important next year.
I love that one as well. Retargeting, I think, is
this is an interesting one, because where's retargeting going to be in the next 6 months? To be honest, if it's still around.
Yeah, so we don't know where retargeting is going with privacy, California law.
So yeah, I mean, we've had a few cases already where some people in California have been targeting sites that haven't had their data and cookies policies up to date. So there have been some issues with LinkedIn pixels and targeting. So it's going to be interesting to see where this one goes. The cookieless world is not quite there yet. We've spoken about first party data in other podcasts and how important that is going forward, and how we believe that should be the next type of data collection that you're doing. But retargeting is still incredibly important. It's really important to especially for longer journeys to keep getting different messages in front of different people at different times of their sales journey. So vital to the cog as a cog in the bigger machine.
Then video and 3D walkthroughs. Think like your Matterport and your video immersive sort of videos. I think like that, especially if you're selling a property that might be in a different state or somewhere that you can't get to. I mean, even just in your normal day to day, like to go view something outside of your normal hours is hard to do. So I think it's always, especially then, you're now not limited to like business hours. Yeah. So that you can be on your couch after work, sipping a Mai Tai and doing a walkthrough.
It's just it plays such a huge part in you being considered for the final decision. Yeah. Where you're able to provide such a seamless experience for someone that it doesn't cost them a lot of energy and time that they could potentially waste in looking at the wrong place, the wrong property.
It's also a shared experience. Like, so if I got the video, I can send it to you. You can also see what my eyes are seeing, and what I'm gauging with.
But it's expensive.
It is expensive.
The 3D mapping, all that stuff is costly. So if you can't do that, video is another great way of doing it. Just, some decent footage of the place. I think photos there's so much.
We don't trust the photos.
All photos, just because of AI now.
Yeah, true.
It's even getting worse. Yeah.
Well, when we started this podcast, we started out reviewing things like the photos of properties, listings, and we were like, damn, that's a bad photo.
Can you imagine it now? You're like
Yeah.
taking it, putting it into Sora or
Oh, it's
whatever.
getting so edited and
Yeah. So the trust level is so low when it comes to images,
Mm.
statics, that video and 3D walkthroughs they're kind of becoming a must-have.
Mm.
So going into next year, if we're talking about credibility being so important in 2026, trust credibility because of how much fake content and fake everything is out there. These are the types of things that are going to help you in the mind of that consumer feel safe.
Events and conferences, I don't think are ever going to go away. I mean, I think even just from like the conferences that we attend, you know, like it brings everyone together, and I think a lot of people wait for those conferences, and you know, you always bring prospects, or
Yeah.
you know, a lot of deals get done there. We've seen it happen, you know, outside of the conference room.
Yeah.
Guys are on the phone,
Yeah.
closing deals and showing you properties and things like that. So I think, and it's a vibe.
I think it's important. I think events and conferences are really important. You need that human touch. You need that human interaction.
With everything else being so online and digital.
Exactly. It's something that you can't always get across. You know, and there's obviously a sales aspect, but building relationships with people, in my opinion, has become more important going into the next year, because that human touch and that human element is becoming so disillusioned now in everything.
Yeah.
That I think to have that and to know that you've met someone that, okay, I'm going to lease space from them, or I'm going to broker their space. So you've met them before, they're, you know, there's a bit of a relationship there. It's going to be so much easier for you to then go and make that decision based on,
I mean,
being at an event. Or
I think of my own personal experience with meeting with clients where I know the whole story and the marketing pitch side of it. And then you know, always a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
You go and you meet them, and I was like, I'm sold. I'm like, I'm sorry I ever thought otherwise, because I saw that.
You could see it in their eyes.
Face to face. I was like, that was legitimate.
Yeah.
I wish all of the clients came and saw this, because it only can really be properly experienced in person.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. Like, I believe you.
Yeah. I like it.
And then what? Social media, organic and paid. We live in a social, digital world.
We live, we live in, you know,
however big your phone is.
That's where we live.
Yeah.
If you're not there,
where are you?
You're square. Don't know what that means.
Like our eyes.
But yeah, you're in trouble.
Okay. And then just some other tactics to consider.
Some sort of outlying tactics that I personally think are going to become more and more relevant and more important, but you don't have to do them.
Yeah.
So things like account-based marketing. So if you could think of account-based marketing as the opposite to advertising 30, 40 years ago, where it was, we call it the spray and pray. So you would, I mean, it's not technically just spray and pray, but you would create an advert, you'd put it in a newspaper, and you'd hope the right people see it.
Yeah.
Whereas with account-based marketing, it's more of a, let's identify the companies and the ideal customer that we actually want to go after, you know, and create assets specifically to that company, show ads that are only going to be seen by that company.
Yeah.
Create webinars just for the people in that company. So you're being specific about the account that you're then targeting, or the client that you're targeting. So that's what we talk about account-based marketing, because it will produce a much higher return on investment for that targeting, because you're going after very small sets of people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not just like putting something out there and hoping that the right people see it, which has its own place, 100%. But account-based marketing is just very, very targeted. And then for me,
I love
interactive content on the landing page is like, it's like crack at the moment.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think of every time I see
crack,
it.
But I'd imagine that's what it's like on a landing page.
Yeah, landing page crack. I think of, every time I think of this banking calculator to calculate, you know, a mortgage, or, you know, like a bond repayment, or
how helpful is that?
I love it.
It's so helpful.
Yeah.
And yes, I know it's not going to be the exact thing every time.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's not going to be perfect. You have a little disclaimer there. It's like, depending on these different factors, but it gives you a ballpark.
And it just gives you that idea that whether or not something is doable.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
can I afford this at that interest rate?
Yeah.
Oh, let me just type it in. I can. Cool. Now I'm keen.
Yes.
And if they had some little cookie there, they could have followed me down Yellow Brick Road. But, you know, I don't think they do that. Hope not.
We can follow you.
Well, at some point, we also got to talk about that heat map thing, but that's at another time.
Yeah. Wait, what? What heat map? On a landing page?
Yeah.
Podcast
and
podcast.
Audio thought leadership.
Podcast.
I think of what James Cook, I think it's Jail. He had his podcast. I don't know if he's still cooking, but yeah, I remember seeing him at Vegas. Remember we walked past the booth. ICSC.
Yeah.
A whole podcast set up, and immediately you're like, oh, incredible. This guy knows what he's talking about.
Just seeing faces, I think.
Yeah.
Just seeing the faces behind the company, you know.
And just also like physically hearing the thoughts and ideas and sharing it with other thought leaders, you know, then just ladders up.
Yeah. You know, I think it's really good for CREtech as well, because I don't think a lot of people see the people behind the technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really cool to see the leaders, or it doesn't even have to just be the leaders, but seeing people talking about their products and what they do, and it gives you a different perspective on things, which is really nice.
You forget about like how text heavy everything is unless you do things like that.
Yeah.
And you get lost in like, oh, but we had a blog and then we had something like that. And you're like, yes, it's all just writing.
Yeah. Which is good for SEO and GEO and all those things. But
for the spider bots,
when you want to learn about something and you want to hear someone's thoughts, it's really nice to just listen to them talk about it, you know, and it builds that credibility and trust.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys made it this far in this podcast right now, I mean,
crickets.
Clearly, we've done something right. But I mean, you know, you might just enjoy hearing our lovely voices. But anyway, ESG and sustainability messaging. I've not seen the word ESG in a hot minute.
Well, it's still out there and it's still important.
I think, but didn't that sort of relax a bit?
It has relaxed a little bit.
Yeah.
El Trumpo's.
He was like,
presidents. It's like,
don't worry about it too much.
Green, who cares?
Yeah.
Well, not just green, but
what about the guys that built those properties? Like,
I think there's still a lot of people out there that do believe
care about
it's very important, and I do. And well, I don't own any buildings, but I think it is important, especially if you want to do business with other people that do think it's important, especially if you're doing business with Europeans. They're massive about it. So and then I think chatbots, conversational messaging. So this for me is a really exciting one.
Yeah.
I like a chatbot, but we've got some other ideas in terms of how to use the GPTs and things like that. Just from just giving people a bit more control over how they interact. So instead of your website dictating to them, letting them dictate to what they want to see. So if it's a landing page and you're trying to sell a service or your product or a tech platform, let them take a bit of control in terms of what they want to know.
And then some must-haves.
So, I mean, we've kind of said like the must-haves and some of the things that are more nice-to-haves. But I think if you're a brokerage, SEO, SEM for your local tenant and investor demands. We're going to go through this quickly. Brokerage, SEO, SEM, retargeting, if it's still okay, by
next year.
This podcast. And just property-focused video and market reports. I think those are three really, really key things to have if you're a brokerage from a marketing point of view.
Also doing market reports in a way that are actually appealing as well. So it doesn't just have to be a piece of paper.
It doesn't have to be, this old school type of report.
Yeah.
It could be done on video. It could be a cool carousel.
Yeah.
There's the nice ways to
People
do it.
are doing it as well, but just seeing more of that.
So if I was a brokerage, those are like the three 100% you have to do. Just the retargeting it's not going away. There's just some privacy stuff around it. But if you've got all your data privacy and cookies pop up intact on your website, everything should be fine.
Yeah.
The LinkedIn pixel there's some legislation against it that there's a loophole there, but Google and all of that is still cool. If you're a CREtech company, email automation is massive. So making sure that your sequences and workflows are in place. And then account-based marketing for your high-intent customers, those high-intent targets, ABN marketing. LinkedIn thought leadership and sponsored content are really important from a credibility and trust point of view. And then case studies are huge for CREtech. So people want to know
on all platforms.
Like what this thing can do and how it solves their problem. You know. So, but you can do that through blogs and videos and testimonials and things like that. And then owner operators. So Google Business Profile, optimizing that, making sure that that's all in place, especially for your, you know, if you're owning a bunch of shopping centers, etc. 3D walkthroughs, high quality videos of the spaces, the different properties, etc. And then tenant marketing campaigns, so helping out your tenants, getting them,
not so like after sales service. So like once they're there,
helping them because you want them to succeed.
So
those are the, you know, if we look at our 3 verticals, brokerages, CREtech, owner operator, those are the 3 most important for each of them that I would. And then I would start looking at the others, but always going back to like, how's it driving your pipeline? How is it increasing revenue? How is it making that decision-making process better?
Those are some goodies.
So closing off, it's not about doing everything. There's just a lot that you kind of need to do, but it's about doing the things that we've sort of outlined here, but that are going to be the most important for your brokerage based on how you're going to increase your profit margins.
And if you remember that with every little thing, like how is that linking to your objectives, your goals, and
everything got to go back to that. It's not, it shouldn't be everyone's doing it, let's do it. It's okay, why is everyone doing it? And how does that then drive us revenue? So that's the way we want to be thinking about channels, tactics, platforms going into 2026.
Sweet.
Cool.
Thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe.
See you in the next episode.